walk down these aisles, Lord, and teach their people. Let them be able, Lord, to hear you in all that you do, Lord, and give them what they stand in need of. The young and old, Lord, healthy, unhealthy, Lord, we pray right now. You, Lord, are the answer to everything that we need. Someone came this morning, Lord, seek the answer this morning. I pray that the words from my mouth, Lord, will be able to help them this morning. Now let me decrease that you may increase. Lord, that you may be able to speak to thy people, let them see my form and hear you. Now, Lord, I pray that you write upon my heart, speak through my mouth, what thus saith the Lord. In Jesus' name, amen. 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 If you would this morning, you would turn to me to Mark's Gospel this morning, chapter 5, verse 21 through 29 this morning. Mark's Gospel, chapter 5. Verse 21 through 29, if you can't stand in the presence of the Lord, we validate our thing and we give honor and glory to God's word that he has provided for us. Mark's Gospel, chapter 5, verse 21 through 29 this morning. Mark's Gospel, chapter 5, verse 21 through 29. Wait on you, Lord, and put me on mission. Got me moved up here. Mark's Gospel, chapter 5, verse 21 through 29. Zooming. You there? Amen. Reading from the King James Version. This is what it says. This was on Deacon Smith's test. And when Jesus passed again over by ship unto the other side, much people gathered unto him, and he was nigh unto the sea. And behold, there cometh one of him of the rulers of the synagogue, Jairus by name. And when he saw him, he fell at his feet, and besought him greatly, saying, My little daughter lieth at the point of death. I pray thee, come and lay thy hands on her, that she may be healed, she may live. And Jesus went with him, and much people followed him and thronged him. And something happened right along the way. And a certain woman, which had an issue of blood for 12 years, and had suffered many things of many physicians, and had spent all that she had, and was nothing better, but rather grew worse. And when she had heard of Jesus, coming to the press behind, and touched his garment, for she said, If I may touch but his clothes, I shall be made whole. And straightway the fountain of her blood was dried up, and she felt in her body that she was healed of that plague. You may be seated this morning when we speak on this subject. There is a doctor in the house. There's a doctor in the house this morning. Thank you, Brother Ron. Thank you all for the music this morning. Thank you, sir, for lifting us to this point. Thank you to the choir. Give the choir a hand this morning. Thank you all this morning. Thank you. You know, when you go to the doctor, you ever notice somebody's always making notes on your chart in front of you? That ever scare anybody but me? You know, because I looked at one of the charts one down and they wrote on me and I couldn't read it. I don't know if you were cursing me out or what you were saying. But you ever gone through that? You know, they record your temperature, they take your pulse, they take your blood pressure, they write down symptoms, they write down diagnosis. That so any other doctor that you go and see will be able to see what you were being treated for. You see, one thing though, the doctors have to keep whatever they write on you, they have to keep that confidential. They can't go and talk to anybody. They can't tell anybody what they've done, what they've written, what they've seen, unless it's someone of the medical profession. But you see, that's where we define ourselves. We can get in God's house, and people can tell us things about what's going on with them. And instead of keeping it confidential, we flood it to the outside. You see, we look at what's happening because I need to let you know this morning that there's a doctor in the house, but it ain't for there to be a doctor in the house. I need to know something this morning. Are there any sick people here this morning? Are there any sick people that came to church this morning? Is there anybody that feels sick this morning? Is there anybody got something that you're going through and you feel sick this morning? You see, if you're dealing with it, you're going through that doctor that treats, I know one that treats cases with the same care, the same concern, and the same compassion, and he heals without doing surgery. Amen. I don't know if you read into this, you know, he's never been sued for malpractice. I've never seen it done because why? Because he's never lost a patient. And you know what? No matter what time I call on him, or no matter what day, whether it's Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, or Sunday, his calendar is never full. I can call and he's right there. If I call on him, he is right there. He don't care whether I got Medicare. He don't care whether I got TRICARE. He don't care whether I got Blue Cross or Blue Shield or ACA. It don't make a difference to him. This when they tell the doctor, say, tell me what's going on with you. That's the first thing they ask you. Say, well, tell me what's going on with you. What's happening? What are you dealing with today? And we'll tell the doctor everything but what's really going on. We won't tell them what's going on and stuff like that. This doctor that I'm talking about, you never met him before. I can understand that. You know what? You don't have to do co-pays there either. And I tell you what, you don't have to do deductible when you go and see him, because you know why? I read the book and he said that the price is already paid. I don't have to pay nothing when I go and see this doctor, because you know what? This doctor is always in. I came to let you know something this morning, that there is a doctor in the house that can fix whatever you're going through. But somebody may say, Pastor, you know this doctor. I don't know him like you say you know him. Who is this doctor that you're talking about? How can you validate what you're saying, that there's a doctor in the house? Well, let me tell you something. You may not know him like I know him, but let me tell you who he is. You may call him Mary's baby. Somebody else may say he's Job's horse pawning in the valley. Somebody else may say he's Ezekiel's wheel in the middle of a wheel. Somebody may say he's Paul's arresting officer. Somebody may say he's the 3 Hebrew boys' chief. They may say he's Daniel's zookeeper. But I know him as one thing. I know him as Lord of Lords and King of Kings. I know him as a doctor who has never lost a patient. I know him as Jesus, the Son of the Most High God. And if you've ever encountered this doctor, you'll never walk away the same. You'll never walk away the same. I tell you, we read this story this morning. You're going through it this morning. It's one of the strangest cases that you will read about in the Bible. Notice what it says. Jesus doesn't even touch these people. He don't touch them. And notice what he didn't tell them either. He didn't prescribe medicine for them either. You read it in the story right there. He doesn't make a diagnosis neither. But the patients are healed nonetheless. They're healed. The text shows us what happens when there really is a doctor in the house. You know, you go to a doctor's office, there's everything in here, but with this doctor, there's no magazine there. There's no TV for you to read. There's somebody, everybody waiting in that weight room. That let me know that there's room at the table. There's room here for everybody. You know what? The lame are there when you go in there. You see people there lame. You go in there, you see people there who are blind also. You see everybody there. I can tell you, you don't believe people there. Look right over there. That blind Bartimaeus right over there. If you can't see him right there, then look a little bit closer. There's some downtrodden people sitting right over there in the waiting room. If you don't believe it, I see Lazarus right there. He looked pretty good for a dead man to me. I don't know about anybody else, but you know what? Nicodemus, what took you so long to get here? Nicodemus showed up in the waiting room. There's Peter. He just wheeled his mother-in-law in right now and say that she got a fever. He just brought her in. This room is crowded, but you know what the master said? There's room for you too. Don't walk away from what he's doing. You see, you need to understand that everybody is welcome in this doctor's room. Is there anybody in here today who's gone to this doctor with an illness problem or with any kind of problem, and he didn't heal you or took care of what you were going through right there? Maybe your bills are due, and you don't know where the money's coming from to be able to pay them. Maybe that's just me. I'm the only one that have that kind of problem. I don't know about you. Maybe today that you're having an issue that you're maybe lost in sin and you don't know how you're going to get out of it. I don't know how I'm going to get away from that, Pastor. But you know what? He focuses on 2 people to give you an example of what this doctor can do. Notice first is Jairus' daughter. The Bible says she was at the point of death. Jairus, running down to Jesus. If your child was sick, you would run to Jesus as fast as you could. You would crawl to him if you had to get there, because that's my child that's sick. Jairus said, my daughter lies at the point of death. I pray that you come and just lay hands on her, that she may be healed and she shall live. But you know, sometimes we think that thing gets Jesus' attention and he turned his head away from us. On the way there and stuff, we have this story of a certain woman. Notice that the Bible don't even introduce who she really is. It just says that she's a certain woman. This woman comes and don't give her age. It don't tell you if she got long hair. It don't tell you whether she got short hair. It don't tell you whether she got a weave. It don't tell you whether she got dippity do or makeup on. It don't say nothing about any of that. It says this certain woman shows up there, and he says a certain woman. This woman came, it could be either of us. It could be you, it could be you, it could be her, it could be him, it could be me. We just showed up right there to Jesus, and this woman, Jesus is on his way to take care of Jairus' problem. And all of a sudden, this woman shows up. Jesus, I got a problem. Even though I've been in the office here, I got a problem, Jesus. It's so different from what everybody else saying. Notice what I tell you, that Jesus don't worry about what your status is in life.
No, it doesn't.
He don't worry whether you rich or you poor. He don't care whether you black or you white. He don't care about any of those things. He said that Jairus was a leader in the synagogue. You see, when we get so high in life that we think we've arrived like George and Weezy, I want you to take care of my problem, Lord, before you take care of these other people's problems, because I got all of this. I put $1,000 of money to the church. God said, I don't care about that. I don't care if he put 2 mice in there. That's all that matters to me. I don't care about those things. A certain woman walks up there who could be considered a nobody. And the Lord sees this woman coming. And her affliction that kept her out of the house of prayer. See, it's some people that feel they can't come in the Lord's house because I don't dress like you do. I can't come in the Lord's house because I don't drive the same type of car you drive. I can't come in the Lord's house because I don't live in the same type of neighborhood you live in. I don't have the same type of job that you have. But here this woman come pleading and say, Lord, please help me. I got something going on. It's good to know that even though you're going through something, you can go and pray for somebody else. And the Lord said, I didn't forget about your problem, but you know, let me take care of this one right here. And I got you covered. But see, we get so caught up in ourselves, we won't pray for anybody else. Lord, I want you all for me. The Lord said that's not the way it's going to be. Jairus' daughter was healthy for 12 years, and they say she lies at the point of death. But this woman has been ill for 12 years, and she's dying. Jairus had pleaded with public, and this woman went in private. She heeded what I hear what you're saying. But see, Jesus stopped what he was doing. On the way to Jairus' house, along the way, he hears an emergency 911 call in person. The Bible says a certain woman. You do know that Jesus will stop and see about you whatever's going on, don't you? You do know that, don't you? Just in case you don't, let's look at 3 things here. Her disease, her determination, her deliverance. Notice that Jesus wasn't annoyed or upset when this woman came to him. You see, people can come and ask you for something, you call them everything but a child of God.
Yes, sir.
It got quiet, Lord. I know that's why you changed that a minute ago. I know that's why you changed that a minute ago now. You see, it gets you something. We shouldn't get upset when people ask us to do something for them. Maybe, just maybe, that's the Lord's way of keeping you from being selfish. Maybe if you interrupted him, that's his way of doing that. But her disease in verse 25, 26 says she had an issue of blood. She was bleeding. Otherwise, she was hemorrhaging. You can look at her and can say that it wasn't normal. It ruined her life. You see, in Jewish law, a woman like that was bleeding, she was considered unclean. She couldn't have no relationship with nobody. Can you imagine? She couldn't even go out in public and be able to talk to people. She couldn't go to church. She couldn't get married. Her condition was put her on the fringe of society. She didn't have friends. Imagine not being able to hold your own child. Imagine people talking about you and whispering about you every time you walk by. Imagine not being able to have no social contact for 12 long years. The Bible says she spent all her money and she couldn't do anything. She spent her money on pills. I see people taking 16, 17 pills a day. She spent all her money on potions. She the way they got potions to try to get healed. And you know what? She still wasn't did it. Got an x-rays done, an MRI, a CAT scan, but you know nothing. Everything she tried, her condition was just getting worse and worse and worse. This woman had a disease that discouraged her. It robbed her of her happiness and her hope. But can I encourage somebody here today? When you feel like that, don't give up, because there's a doctor in the house. If you really know him, there's a doctor in the house. You see, the last person was defiled by the blood. That came to us from Adam. We were defiled from Adam. Romans 4:12 say, wherefore as by one man entered into sin, into the world, and death by sin, so that death passed now unto all men. So you know what? I need to know something this morning. When you're feeling like that, can you go to the Lord and tell him, Lord, I got this issue. If I can stop by here for just a moment to let you understand something, that there is really a doctor in the house. You see, you tried everything under the sun to get rid of that thing you're going through. You read every self-help book they got. We'll go to Barnes and Noble and buy a self-help book, chicken soup for the soul, chicken soup for my toes, chicken soup for my head. We'll go and buy everything, but we won't read the one book that the Lord say, you know what, if you're going through something, this book right here has all the answers in it right here. Don't worry about what Oprah say. Don't worry about what Dr. Phil say. Don't worry about what Dr. R say. They don't care whether you get well or not anyway. No matter how many doctors you go and see, somebody need to understand. Romans 6:23 says the wages of sin is death. Whatever your issue is today, there is a doctor in the house. You see, I heard he called a mind regulator. He can regulate your confused mind. He can deliver you from any addiction, any attitude, any habit, any hurt, any hang-up. Tell your neighbor that you know what? There is a doctor that can take care of whatever it is that you're going through. Yes. You see, Luke, the doctor, tells us, say, you know what? This woman, she could not be healed by anyone. But Mark, the one who preached the gospel to the Romans, say that she had endured much at the hand of physicians, not for a day, not for a week, not for a month, but for 12 long years she's been going through that. You see, somebody here woke up this morning with a pain you had last night, and it showed up again this morning. You had it last week, it's still there right now. You in pain all day, and you don't understand why, because you know what? You're going to the wrong doctor to be able to get rid of this thing. You see, it says she was determined. She had a disease, but she was determined to get better. If I got to spend my last dime. When you sick, you'll go through all kind of things to try to let yourself get well. You'll go to, they say, I can't go to this doctor. You'll go to every doctor in San Antonio just trying to get well on something. You'll spend up every dollar that you have. You don't care. You'll not pay your bills to try to go to the doctor. You remember when you were sick when you was a child. How did mama and them come up with all those remedies to be able to give you, and you got well from those things that mama and them gave you? I don't care if it was a shot of castor oil that you had to take, but you know what? It made you feel better. If it was a shot of cold 3-6 that you had to take, it made you feel better. I thought they were trying to kill me sometimes. You gonna give me cold oil on a match and then tell me eat this and gonna stop you from coughing? I know a doctor though that can take care of all of that. Amen. See, I know one. Satan said to God concerning Job, he said, skin for skin, yet all men have life that is given unto them. This woman spent everything. A certain woman spent everything. I'm sure her blood pressure had dropped. I'm sure that she was weak. Maybe in her case, as in your case today, she tried talking, but that child still wouldn't turn around. You know, she tried everything she can. And I'm ready to just throw in the towel right now, but there's a doctor in the house. You may have made Jesus your last choice, but that's the one. You see, we have to go through life's valleys before we decide that we're going to go to Jesus. We have to go through pain and struggle before we decide we got to go to Jesus. This certain woman, she heard about Jesus. You see, some of us heard it, but we still don't believe it. We still don't believe it. We still don't believe that Jesus is there. But the Bible said a certain woman heard about it.